What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rosie Wrestling. My name is Safe.
And I'm Massa.
And today we come back to you with another edition of Views from Rosie. But this time, we're changing things up permanently. Instead of a in-depth review, we're going to have 3 talking points. Obviously, this time about Monday Night Raw. And we're going to start off with the Gauntlet Match, which took up a large chunk of Raw.
2 hours.
Yeah, so it took up a large time. So we're going to be spending a few minutes talking about the Gauntlet Match first. And so let's just go right into the review about the Gauntlet Match. Roman comes out with a promo. Really nothing special there. Then Seth Rollins comes out, new t-shirt, Monday Night Rollins. And they have their first match, which is Rollins versus Roman Reigns. What did you think of this match to start off the show?
Well, first of all, I think that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have great chemistry together. You can definitely tell they worked each other numerous amount of times. But what I kind of want to know is why this Gauntlet match? Like, what's the purpose of this going into the Chamber? You know, it did build up for the Chamber, but I just didn't exactly know why. If they did this for the whole whoever enters last, I think is the smarter idea. But they already did that, and Elias has won that one. But this first match was pretty good. I thought it was really good. It lasted a lot longer than I expected. And Seth actually picked up the victory with a roll-up win, which I didn't expect. I actually thought that Roman was going to continue on. I didn't think he was going to win the whole thing, but I thought he was going to beat Seth. Were you surprised at all?
I was extremely surprised that Seth won clean here. Mm-hmm. I thought when I saw Roman starting off, I thought that Roman was going to be like the Iron Man and last until the very end and then lose, and then it won't look too bad. But he lost in the first match. It was a roll-up, but it was still a clean victory. It made Seth Rollins look like $1 million. And you know Roman's going to win the Universal title at Mania. I'd love to see these guys have a program after Mania because that match was such a good match to start off Raw. That was a pay-per-view quality match. But then we have Cena versus Rollins, and these two also have fantastic chemistry.
I know.
And just Rollins really just tore the house down. And, you know, almost immediately Rollins actually attacked Cena when he came into the match. But the whole time Cena was dominating, and Seth Rollins did a great job of selling throughout the entire match. But after a long time in the match, Seth actually wins.
I was actually really surprised because it's Cena. And, you know, there were parts where I was like, oh, it's Super Cena. Super Cena's going to come out. But I was really surprised because Seth Rollins did such a good job. I actually wanted him to win. I gained so much respect for Seth Rollins after this. And just, he looked like a beast, and he looked like he really wanted it. And I was actually kind of surprised that it kicked out of the AA. I think that they're not protecting it anymore. Like,
yeah, I did mention that last week, how it doesn't take one AA anymore. But they're making us care about Rollins. This is what they should have done after he came back from injury. Honestly, like, 2017 was a really down year for him, but here he's really showing what he can do. And, you know, hats off to the booking team for making us care about Rollins here.
And hats off to Rollins himself for doing such a great job in this match.
Next, we move on to Elias versus Rollins. And I realized during this match they switched refs. So, like, it just showed, like, I know John Cone came in. I don't know who the first ref was, but they switched refs. Even the refs were tired. But this was kind of quick. Honestly, I was so exhausted from the first 2 fantastic matches that this was, I had trouble caring about this as much. But Elias wins with a drift away. I mean, that was understandable. Yeah. Rollins at that point.
Rollins actually beat the record. He has the longest, he wrestled the longest in history, in Raw history. Again, Iron Man, he looked so good. And then this also makes Elias look good. I feel like it worked in a way where, okay, we're trying to make people also care about Elias. And of course, you know, he won the triple threat match. Now he wins this part of the match. So I thought it was a good win. This wasn't super exciting, but next we have Finn Balor versus Elias. And what did you think about this one compared to the Elias versus Seth?
Again, I was having trouble getting invested in this match due to the fatigue from the first 2 matches. Mm-hmm. Already we're about like an hour-ish into the show, and we've just seen matches, which I'm fine with, but, you know, that's just the way it is. Balor and Elias, they wrestled a decent match. Again, nothing special.
Better than Elias and Seth, but, you know, they still put on a pretty good match.
So Balor wins with a coup de grace on Elias, and then The Miz comes in, and it's Miz versus Finn Balor. Again, at this point, really, like, it was just so much fatigue from the first 2 great matches that, you know, these guys, they were doing okay. Nothing really that special.
You know, of course, the Miz Taraj got involved, like always.
And then the Miz ends up winning with a skull-crushing finale, which then leads us to Braun against Miz. and it was just simple. Right when Braun came out, I knew how it was going to end. He ended up chasing The Miz, and Braun ends up winning and, you know, cleans house at the end. And we have the final thing we see before the Elimination Chamber is Braun victorious. So we know he's not going to win at the Chamber. But also we kind of know no one's going to win except Roman. So that's all fine and dandy. But overall, what do you think of this Gauntlet idea, and should they do it more often?
See, the Gauntlet match itself, I thought it was really good. I thought altogether it was really good. It was a lot longer than I expected. I haven't really watched many Gauntlet matches. I thought it was going to be a lot shorter. But I'm a fan of good wrestling. I like in-ring action a lot more than you should. So I enjoyed this. I know some people might not have the attention span for it. It was really long, but I personally enjoy the in-ring action. So next we move on to our second talking point, and this is Double J Jeff Jarrett inducted into the 2018 Hall of Fame. This surprised you. This surprised me. What do you think about this decision?
Honestly, this is crazy. I was never really a fan of Jeff Jarrett. I always thought he was someone that thought of himself as so high when really he wasn't that great. That's why he put the world title on himself so many times in TNA, and he was also a 4-time world champion in WCW, but that was also like when WCW was, you know, already in the ground. But I guess he deserves the Hall of Fame spot because you could see a lot of other people that have done less than him went to the Hall of Fame, but I'm still so surprised that he's being inducted because of his not so great relationship with Vince.
Yeah, I was really surprised because we all know that Vince McMahon hates Jeff Jarrett, who signed on this. And if now Jeff Jarrett is in the Hall of Fame, there's so many people I feel like deserve it more than him, like British Bulldog, Owen, Christian. You know, I don't think that Jeff Jarrett is the most deserving, but hell, like...
I'm almost positive they made amends. There's no way Vince is going to let him in when they have beef. So next, we're going to end off with the 6-woman tag match as our third talking point. So this match was between the heels, which was Alexa Bliss, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville of Absolution, against the baby faces, which were Mickie James, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. And they actually gave this match some time. I think it went around 15-ish minutes, probably a little bit less. But overall, I thought it was a good match. But what do you think of the idea of them having a 6-woman tag match?
You guys already know by now, I hate the idea of 6-woman tag matches. I think that they're just lazy booking. They're trying to show all the women together. And, you know, I told you this before, but I personally think the women's division is kind of like NXT. You're not going to shine every single week. It's just not the case. There's just too much talent. But when you get to shine, the spotlight should just be on you, not on everybody else. You know, we want to try to build up each and individual character, not everyone as a whole.
I think, though, in this case, it was okay because they were building up to a match with all of them in it. But see, the reason why we look at it negatively is because we've seen so many 6-woman tags, and they've thrown so many of these just women's tag matches at us when it didn't really matter. Yeah, now it just seems like overkill. But here, in this case, it actually makes sense.
I think that out of the 6-woman tag matches that we've seen, this was one of the better ones.
For sure.
It was definitely a little bit more entertaining. Again, I was still exhausted from the first few matches, but I thought that this one was a good way to end the show and still build up to the Elimination Chamber, the women's match, which is the first ever female Elimination Chamber, so it's a big deal.
Alexa Bliss ends up tapping out to the bank statement, which gives the babyfaces the victory, but afterwards, we see that Mickie James and Alexa Bliss have actually made an alliance, and I'm interested to see how this is going to pan out at the Elimination Chamber. Could we see everyone just gang up on Absolution just to make them look strong? Because really, they need something to make them look strong, because really, they haven't been that big of a force.
Yeah.
So overall, again, like you said, this was one of the better Elimination Chamber matches. I'm really interested.
6-woman tag matches.
Excuse me, yeah, 6-woman tag matches. And going into the Elimination Chamber, I really don't know who's going to win this because Alexa's held on to the title for a while. They could possibly go in a different direction. They could possibly go with her retaining. But we're just going to have to wait and find out who wins the first ever women's chamber match. So that's it for Views from Rhodesy. Look out for our pay-per-view preview for the Elimination Chamber on Thursday. Also look out for our next episode of Views from Rhodesy tomorrow for Smackdown. We're going to have 3 talking points for that one as well. But please let us know what you thought of Raw and of our talking points in the comment section below.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rhodesy Wrestling, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!